They called it the dish that could bring you wealth, health, and good fortune. Yet today, most Americans have never even heard its name. I grew up on a small farm in the American South, and every year, on January 1st, my grandmother would cook a special meal for our family. She called it Hoppin' John. And while it may not sound like much, for generations of Southerners, it was a lot more than just food. It was a tradition that carried with it the hopes and dreams for the year to come. Hoppin' John is a simple bowl of black-eyed peas and rice, sometimes flavored with smoked pork or bacon, but its roots trace back to an entirely different part of the world, to West Africa. To understand why it mattered, you have to know what it was like to live in the American South before the Civil War. The land was worked by enslaved people who had been ripped from their homes in Africa and brought to a strange new place. They were forced to work long hours in the hot sun, planting and harvesting crops like cotton and tobacco. Life was hard, and the food was simple. One of the mainstays of their diet was a humble legume, the black-eyed pea. They were a cheap and easy source of protein and fiber, and they could be prepared in a variety of ways. But for the enslaved people of the South, black-eyed peas were more than just food. They were survival. In the fields of South Carolina and Georgia, enslaved communities used what little they had to create something filling, nourishing, and deeply symbolic. They combined black-eyed peas with rice, a staple of Southern cooking, and seasoned it with whatever they had on hand, including the prized possession of many families, a ham hock or a slice of bacon. The dish was born in the heart of a people who had endured unimaginable hardships, yet who still held on to their traditions and their hope for a better future. What began as a simple meal in the fields soon became more. 4 generations. Hoppin' John became a New Year's ritual. Eating it on January 1st was said to bring prosperity for the year ahead, with the peas symbolizing coins and wealth. Families passed down the tradition, cooking it in iron pots, sometimes with collard greens on the side to represent paper money. It was cheap, simple, and filling, yet carried a weight of meaning that made it a cornerstone of Southern black culture. For many years, my grandmother cooked Hoppin' John for our family on New Year's Day. Though times have changed and people have moved away from the old traditions, some things never fade, as long as there are people to carry on the story. Hoppin' John will continue to be a quiet symbol of survival, faith, and the unbreakable belief in a better tomorrow. And while Hoppin' John promised prosperity, another dish born of necessity carried the mark of survival in a far more controversial way. One that still divides opinions to this day.